In 2013, I was very focused on marathon running, and I was overjoyed to be running the Boston Marathon, which is the pinnacle of any marathon runner's career. And I was there with my children, who were 4, 6, and 8 at the time. I was lucky enough to have crossed the finish line before the bombs began to explode all around us. And I spent the next 6 hours just wandering the streets of Boston, trying to find safety, trying to get back to our hotel, trying to make sense of what was going on with my children. And we were very lucky to be safe, but we returned from Boston with a different layer in our life, and very much so changed. At that time, I knew that running and athletics were a big part of my life, because it's my outlet, it's my time for me, but I knew that it could no longer just be about me. The experience had changed me. I also knew in that moment, I would always go back to the Boston Marathon, because if I didn't, evil had won that day. And if I did, courage and strength prevailed. And that was a lesson I needed to teach my children. So I'm very excited that this April will be my 10th anniversary returning to the Boston Marathon. But when I came home, I was looking for something more. I needed more meaning. At that time, a mutual friend's husband was on the board of a charity that puts people with disabilities back on the water. Shake a leg. Carrie was also on the board. Carrie had announced there that she was looking for someone to pull her through a 9-mile open water swim called Swim to Alligator Lighthouse. And we were put together to form this team to swim to Alligator Lighthouse. The friend's husband knew that this was maybe something that I needed at that moment, that's something that I was looking for, and something that Carrie needed and something she was looking for. So I always say that Carrie came to me in my life at a very specific time when I needed her. And we always speak about each other as soulmates. And that's really one of the reasons. When I first met Carrie, communication is not always easy. Her voice is strained, but we never had to really speak. We just had an instant connection. We had an understanding that we were each putting our safety in the other's hands, and that we would never take that for granted, but that we would always push the limits and we would always do our best to accomplish some crazy goals. And I think people always think that the things that we do and the races that we enter, they're like, oh, Caryn, was that your goal? I'm like, it's never me, it's always her. She's the one always pushing the envelope. She's the one who, let's do a marathon. Awesome. Now let's do, we just did an open water swim. We just did a marathon. I think we should do an Ironman next. I'm like, an Ironman. All right. If you're in, I'm in. And so we just are really kindred souls. We have a way of communicating with each other that transcends language and words. We are able to look each other in the eye and have an understanding. We've been in dangerous situations, and we're able to look each other in the eye and have a trust to know when it's safe to continue, when we must stop, when one is hurting, when one is not. And just the ability to trust, love, and cherish each other so we can push forward and truly accomplish any goal we set.